thank you for joining us and welcome to the Marathon Stadium as Michael Hagan takes the Knights out to a massive crowd. The official ground record is 32,250 and I think it might be in jeopardy today. Most important game, here's the Newcastle side. Godden at fullback, O'Davis, Herman the wings, Brunker, Schuster the centres, Hagan, Rodwell the halves, and the forward lineup is Glanville, Mullane, Boyd, Harrigan, Sargent and McCormick. Now the Raiders come out. Mal Meninga at the front and decimated by injuries behind him. Let's have a look at the Canberra side. It's Mullins at fullback, Hoppy on one wing, Nagus on the other. Meninga, Boyle the centres, Croker the 5'8", Stewart the half, Clyde at the back of the scrum, Ferner Woods the second row, Rubisame, Osborne the front, and Steve Walters is the hooker. The man in the hot seat today is Graham Annesley. It's his turn to go under this judgment. Canberra from right to left, the breeze slightly behind them. It's a very strong wind that's blowing, but really it's coming more across the ground. Newcastle, it's been well documented, they must win this game, otherwise they'll drop into that playoff situation in all likelihood during Tuesday and Thursday. Glanville tackle just outside his own 22 line. McCormick in the headgear unloads for Harrigan. Slightly high tackle.
Oh, there's been a high tackle there by Osborne. Clyde got him down low and they're calling for the doctor or the trainer already. Very heavy hit there on Harrigan. It was Osborne, the man who came over the top and the forearm right around the chin. He's off. He's gone.
Oh, he sent him.
Turn it up, ref.
Osborne has been sent. Second tackle of the game. Paul Osborne sent from the field of play.
Well, I've got to say this. It was a high tackle. I don't think it warranted a send-off. Fair dinkum. He's come in late. It wasn't a swinging arm. He just had his arm out there. And Harrigan's momentum took him into the tackle. And a quick yeah.
The Wollongong Ocean boy. He started at a great rate of knots. Now Sargent.
Well, is that going to make it easy for the Newcastle mob now against 12 men for 79.85 minutes?
David Boyd in the side today plays the ball to Harrigan on the halfway and now for Glanville. Harrigan doesn't seem too affected by the high tackle from Osborne as he takes it up on this set of 6. McCormick again away for Rodwell and he gets it on for Hagan. Hagan's kick lollies around, but Brett Mullins is there to pick it up. Canberra, their first touch of the ball. And only 12 men now, you might as well say, for the entire journey. Played by Clyde. Steve Walters comes away, runs into Boyd and Mullane. The ball comes out the back. Young David Ferner gets across the quarter-way line. Newcastle must win this game for the reasons outlined earlier, but as well, a win in first grade would see them share the club championship with the Brisbane Broncos as Canberra get the penalty.
It's been a great year for the Newcastle side. All 3 grades, if they win this one today, will be in the semi-finals. David Wade is to be congratulated for how he's handled his club this year. And Canberra now, they're going to do it very, very hard into this swirling breeze. But they are a champion side.
Walters taking the tap. Stewart throws the dummy first time. David Woods playing against one of his old clubs today is the man playing the ball. He's seen plenty of clubs, David Woods, but of course Newcastle was the most recent of them. Walters at centre field, working right for Stewart, and further right for Meninga. Mullins comes into his back line. He gets rid of Brunker pretty easily. Croker a dummy half. This is Stewart turning it in one-handed. Again for Dave Woods. And there's the ball coming loose in the play. The ball, so I thought. The referee let it go. Stewart puts it into the air. And up they go, and a beautiful take. Robbie O'Davis take a bow.
Great take by O'Davis, relieved a lot of pressure there for the Knights. Beautiful take, up he went.
Herman now plays the ball just inside his own 22. O'Davis comes away and then gets it back for Herman, but he was a sitting duck for the Canberra defence. McCormack away for Harrigan. 32 metres out from his line. 5 tackles gone, and Rodwell will kick here, but it's a penalty to Newcastle. It's against the markers. So they'll find the line somewhere just into Canberra's area.
David Woods was claiming there that Harrigan walked off the mark. Referee would have none of that. And now Newcastle in the Canberra half. Good position here for the Knights.
Rodwell taking the tap. Sargent going up to meet the enemy on the first play. Rodwell again in a dummy half. Little short ball for Harrigan. He looks all fired up, Paul Harrigan, as he plays the ball outside the 22.
Well, that's his 4th hit up in about 4 minutes, so there's nothing wrong with him as Glanville goes through.
Glanville reaches the 10-metre line. Newcastle looking ominous now as they pour it onto the left, and Hagan takes the tackle, no gain in ground. McCormack away for Rodwell, through the hands to Boyd, and Boyd is put down 8 metres from the line, and they're right in centre field. They've got the option of left or right. Rodwell is on the right. Now Hagan, now Schuster, now O'Davis, and that's a Knights try. And around 30,000 people here, mainly supporting the home side. They love it. Newcastle 4, Canberra no score.
Great early start for the Knights. That penalty took them into the danger zone for Canberra. And this typical Newcastle play, the cut out, the run around, and Schuster. And that's very easy. I thought O'Davis could have improved his position. There wasn't a Canberra player within 50 metres of him. He's made it a very difficult kick for his kicker. But he just saw that line, wanted the ball straight down.
John Schuster, 62 goals for the year. 140 points in total. He's out on the sideline, 24 metres out. That's what it looks like for Schuster. Strikes it, it's coming around too much. No goal, and Newcastle lead Canberra, reduced to 12 men by 4 points to 0.
Wednesday.
David Furner gets this match underway again. It's going to be a long day for the Raiders. Godden comes out and is met and pulled down by Rubinstein. Now McCormack with one of those customary runs away from dummy half. Then goes for the quick play, the ball, and he's brought the penalty against Newcastle.
Well, Newcastle have got a habit of doing this. Look, he is being held down, but, you know, you've just got to... Annesley's got to get in there and get these play the ball sorted out. As Furner comes up, he'll have a shot for goal. But he pinged McCormack there for not getting up to play the ball. Very hard, though, when you've got 2 players over the top of you.
42 goals for the year for David Furner. Son of the chairman of selectors. Boots it beautifully. He loves it. Flags in the air. Canberra gets 2 points. Newcastle leading by 4 points to 2. Well, no matter which side you support, I guess the thought has crossed your mind that what was going to be a real battle has been marred in some fashion by the send-off in the second tackle of the game of Canberra's Paul Osborne. Croker playing the ball back on his own quarter-way line. This is Nagus. Stewart. At Breeze, just as I said, fractionally behind Canberra, and a scrum will go down just about 12 metres out from the Newcastle line. Fed by Rodwell. Herman, he comes away but is met there by Meninga, who's been ruled inside the 5.
I think he's, Ray, on this occasion, he's got Clyde for getting out of the scrum too early. The old lock forward, he got out although there is no lock forward, he's got the second row. Clyde's playing second row now, of course, but he still got out before the ball came out.
Brunker finding the line about 25 metres out. Harrigan keen for work. Hagan was cut out. Sargent's lost it. Canberra's got it. Walters, but a double knock-on has been ruled. Croker. Clyde on the blind. Through the legs of Walters. Now with Stewart. It's going to be a strange semi-final series without this green machine there in 1992. That's the way it goes. Now Walters with a weaving run, taking him inside the quarterway line. They've got the option of left or right as they work from the centre of the ground across to Croker. Now Boyle, he gets the ball away for Hoppy. Hoppy very close to the line. Pulled down on 5, coming left for Meninga. Long ball for Stewart. Equally long through those beautiful hands of Stewart. Woods on the run around off Clyde. Nagus goes back inside. Clyde comes outside, goes for the line and gets it down. Super try by the Raiders.
Great footy, Canberra Raiders. They're not going to give up in this game, let me tell you. They're a great side. Injuries have decimated them this year. But on this occasion, they spread the ball down the right and the ball had to come left. Mal Meninga knew that. They made a nice break down the right-hand side here. The congested Newcastle defence allowed them an overlap. They've only got 12 on 13. But they're always going to... Newcastle were short out here. Meninga the long ball, and this is a beautiful pass from Stewart. That cuts out 3. Now the defence came over. Schuster had Woods covered. Nagus went back inside, and Clyde backed up again. It's an ordinary defence here. Oh, Davis missed him cold.
That's a great try, though, Paul. David Furner. Big test for him. 2 metres in from touch. Breeze at his back, and he's hooked it too much. So no addition to the scoreboard, but Canberra lead Newcastle by 6 points to 4. Schuster sending it down, way down to the Canberra try line, and Mullins brings it back. Tim Sheens with a face that probably depicts a man saying what might have been in 1992. Now from Stewart across for David Furner. Harrigan takes him high, but he's able to get it away for Hoppy, coming in from the right wing, and Canberra continue to make ground. Bad play the ball. When I say that, no marker, no dummy half for Canberra, and they cop up possession. Now, a bust by Glanville, just outside the 22.
They need to go left, Knights. They've got bodies out there.
Rodwell away for Hagan. Now for Glenn Miller. Brunker links in. Brunker brought down 15 out. All they needed was quick hands across the line. Hagan scoops it up for Herman. Herman goes for the line. 10 metres out, he's brought down. McCormick to dummy half. Rodwell at first receiver. Lets Sargent go. Takes the tackle. Still 10 metres out from the line. Going to dummy half is Godden. Back to Rodwell. Now for Herman. Herman throws the ball. McCormick for Hagan. Now the long ball. Oh, Davis goes for his second. No, it's a forward pass.
Yeah, last pass was real forward by Ennersley. This will be a turnover, changeover. But Newcastle, they found some holes there, but that ball from Hagan went well forward, about 1.5 metres.
Just on that subject of the replay next Sunday, don't forget you'll see the Saturday semi-final and the Sunday semi-final on Channel 9 around Australia. And 5:30 to air. That's for Sydney viewers. And the rest of the network will see it live. David Woods. Stewart. Herman from the deep. Driving tackle by Meninga. Godden. 6-4 in favour of Canberra. Reminding you that they've been reduced to 12 men for, you might as well say, the entire match. They may as well have run out there with 12, because they had Osborne for only 2 tackles. Sargent, he wants to be careful. He tried to knee Ricky Stewart out of the road. Godden goes into open space inside the 32, now the 22, brought down by Mullins. Ball has been lost.
Penalty, 10 minutes in the bin for Mullins. That was a great break. Sargent with a good run. And then Godden, beautiful inside pass by Hagan, put him away. Support was coming, but it was too late. And there Mullins interfering in the play of the ball. And he's off for 10, so Canberra's down to 11 men.
John Schuster. Took plenty of the mound, but he's got it up there and the flags are with it. The Knights and Canberra come together. 6 points all in Sunday Night League.
This is a...
Just watching John Schuster take that 2-pointer. Reminds me that fellow New Zealander Sam Stewart brought down the curtain on his career here today in reserve grade. He was the original captain of the Newcastle Knights. Ball played by Godden. 6 more tackles as Canberra strike for it in the play of the ball and come in contact with it. Sargent bumps away from a shoulder charge by Rubusame. I hope the young Canberra forward Rubusame learned something by that. They're all very well the shoulder charge, but when they go astray, you open up that ground for continued promotion by the opposition. Stewart. Meninga. Midway 22 halfway. Newcastle's end of the ground. Clyde. Wrapped up by Mullane and Rodwell. Stewart fading from left to right. Turning it in for Woods. Up to the 22. Beautiful piece of work there by the Raiders. Away from Walters for Stewart. Croker running out for Boyle. Boyle looks to unload, finds Nagus, throws it in field. Taken by Glenn Miller for Newcastle.
Canberra giving this ball plenty of air today, but see, they're a side that's out of the semis, got nothing to lose. They're just out there to have a good time, enjoy themselves, and they're doing that, and they're entertaining the crowd. Very partisan Newcastle crowd. They're desperate for a Newcastle win, but Canberra's going to make them go right to the wire.
This is Mullane. Canberra upset the chances of Newcastle winning the club championship outright when they won reserve grade 12 points to 8. The Newcastle and President's Cup, they were victorious there. They can share the club championship trophy with a victory here. Stewart, 12 metres out from his line. Brett Mullins coming back, lifting the Canberra complement to 12. Stewart calling for it on the blind side. Boyle positioned himself badly, David Boyle there. Didn't give himself enough room to run onto the ball. David Fern. One-hander out the back for Walters. High ball for Stewart. Short for Clyde. Then for Meninga. Now for Croker. The ball comes spewing out the back. Meninga gets it down for Clyde. Flicks it out the back for Croker. Croker gets rid of Brunker. Does the same to Herman. Gives it to Hoppy. But they're not going anywhere. They're on the halfway mark. Walters. Stewart. Cut-out ball. Meninga. Flick pass. Croker. Are they having a good time or what, Canberra? They really have come here to throw the ball about today. Nothing to lose. Caution to the wind. Stewart putting it high. Mountainous kick. O'Davis did well. held by Cannon. Godden goes away. Walters pursues and brings him down. Herman. 6 points all then as we come close to half-time. Glanville. I doubt that David Waite will be glowing in his praise. If there is too much of it at half-time. Rodwell. Schuster with quick hands. O'Davis. He loses the ball. Schuster kicks it ahead. But Annesley has to rule on that. How?
Are we at Wembley? Is it the FA Cup? Wait, don't worry, but he'll be filthy about this performance by the Knights at half-time. They're taking wrong options, dropping off tackles. Canberra's throwing the ball around. Newcastle not putting the man with the ball on the ground. And Canberra making too many easy metres. And Newcastle, they've got everything ahead of them. They've got a semi-final spot.
Walters again. O'Davis dropped off the tackle. Godden clamps him. 32 out. This will be the last play prior to the break. Look at the pass from Stewart. It went 25 metres. Meninga gives it to Hoppy. He kicks to the centre. Follows the kick down the ground. Rodwell is back there. Cleans up magnificently.
Penalty to the Knights. A Newcastle player being pushed out of the way by a Canberra man. Half-time heat is gone.
Herman takes the tap. He's going to take the tackle, and that's the end of the first half. So, at the recess, we're locked together at 6 points all. The second half action coming to you in just a moment.
Yeah, welcome back to Marathon Stadium. We're at half-time. The score is 6-all between the Knights and the Raiders. There's the stats. Probably the two stats that stand out the most are down the bottom, the missed tackles. 17 missed tackles by the Knights. We saw, especially in the latter stages of that half, where they were falling off a lot of tackles, the Knights. Waite wouldn't be happy with that. And the handling errors, once again, the Knights with 7, and they're getting into situations where the last pass is going astray. I think if they can cut down on those two areas, then they'll win this match. But Canberra, they're really putting it to the Knights.
Thank you, Paul Vorden. John Schuster gets us underway for the second stanza. And it's Mullins that comes away for Canberra. And can they continue to stay right in this ball game, the Raiders? Newcastle, they're going to have to change their pattern. It seemed pretty obvious to everybody that they wanted to work up the centre. Look at those backs, and the Crokers had to do quite a bit of work, as has Boyle. Hagen topping it for Newcastle.
And there's been one change in the Newcastle side. Tony Butterfield is on, replacing Mark Sargent, who came good in the latter stages of that first half. He finished with 10 hit-ups for the half with Harrigan. He's having a big game, Harrigan. 13 hit-ups for one half. That's great stuff for a front rower.
O'Davis. Try scorer for Newcastle first half. Hagen to Harrigan. Glanville. Malay. Cormack to the right for Rodwell to put it in the air. Bouncing down and away, but it's with Boyle. Boyle for Canberra. Nagus comes away from dummy half. Steps inside of Paul Harrigan. Harrigan's leaving the field.
But Sargent, he's got to assert more authority now.
At 6 points all.
Well, the Knights would be happy with a point, wouldn't they, Ray? That'll get him into the semis.
Well, that's sufficient. You're quite right. Thurner makes the break for Canberra.
I think we're still a long way off, though.
Now it's Walters. Stewart this time. Meninga. Short ball goes astray. Mal has to clean it up himself. Hoppy. Rubusane.
And news from the sideline, Paul Harrigan has a torn hamstring. He won't be back for this game.
Well, this is going to be a Canberra loose head and feed. That ball from Stewart came off a Newcastle player. Croker, Boyle. David Wood's about to come back into the battle. Coming off his young Rubisane. Woods in 24 jumper. He did a good job early for his coach, Tim Sheens. Tackle from Sargent. Just over the top of the shoulder. Meninga finding the line on the Newcastle 22. Canberra now with a chance to really put the cat among the pigeons. If they can pick up points here. Poppy works with Meninga. Meninga gets it inside the 22 line. Newcastle's turn to defend. Stewart letting Cannon go. Slipping the pass for young Ferner. Gets it back to his captain. He gives it for Hoppy. Scoops it in with one hand. Tries to get the ball away, but Brunker shuts him down over the top. Meninga's the dummy half. Stewart is going to push it wide. There goes the torpedo pass. Clyde does the run around with Croker. Croker goes himself. Pulled down 18 metres from the line. Played back to Walters. Walters runs into some space. Clyde goes up the centre and is brought down 12 metres out. Still a couple of tackles left on this set. Stewart runs across, dummies to Ferner. This is play on. Hoppy goes away from his sideline. Brought down and a little bit of a loss in ground there for Canberra. This is their last. It's gone to Rick Stewart. Goes for the drop goal and gets it. Oh, how easy for Stewart. On quite an angle, but as easy as you like. He pops it over the dot. For Canberra to lead 7-6 now.
Nice work by Ricky Stewart. They weren't having much luck throwing the ball around, and Stewart just took the odds to the point. 7-6 is still a long way to go in the game, but this gives them a little psychological edge there. Down to 12 men. It's been a magnificent performance by the Raiders.
Mullins on the carry-back mission. Glenn Miller, the chief tackler. Walters is having a superb game for Canberra. This is David Boyle. The Knights not giving their fans too much to cheer about thus far. Ferner. Back to Walters. It's played and given then to Stewart. Keeping them on track is Stewart with a judicious kicking game. Accurate. And again he finds the line just outside the 22. Herman. Saturday and Sunday of next weekend, you'll see the semi-finals on the 9 network. Country areas will be picking it up live. And interstate, of course. And the full replay for Sydney viewers at 5:30. Glanville inside the 32 and the quarterway line. Brought down by Mullins. Good tackle by the fullback.
Oh, he's had a game, Glanville. He's having a blinder. Now there is a chance here.
Rodwell across for Sargent.
Oh, they've come back inside again. They've got 3 on 1 out wide.
It's still on to the right, but they've come back to the blind side. Herman tries to kick. Hoppy picks it up for Canberra. Brushes away. I don't know whether they'll get him. He's got 35 to go. Schuster comes across. He does enough, Schuster, for Brunker and Rodwell to clean up. Steve Walters has just arrived for dummy half duty. Gets the pass away. Clyde stretches the ball. Now Canberra's got a chance, a real chance to hurt Newcastle. Croker, he gets away from 2 tackles and is pulled down by O'Davis. 90 metres they've gone on 2 plays. Stewart dummies to Woods. Across for Ferner. Ferner's 15 out. Bradley Clyde. Stewart tries to do it himself. Turns it back for Walters. Walters tries to scamper through. All hands on deck for Newcastle. Out to Stewart. On to Big Meninga. Gets the pass away for Hoppy. Hoppy goes inside. Pulled down 2 metres out on 5. Meninga, will he go himself? From dummy half, he finds Stewart. He grubber kicks, and it's picked up by a Newcastle player.
Brilliant play by Canberra. Stewart, just the last kick, unlucky. But gee, they are one of the most attractive teams in the Winfield Cup. And Newcastle just look out of sorts today.
This is Butterfield. Now Sargent. Minus the head down. I tell you what, it's made him run faster.
Well, he's got a man in support. Must be a try.
Oh, Davis.
Oh, no.
McCormack. It's play on. McCormack goes for the corner. Pulled down by Stewart.
Well, the ball's got to go left. Newcastle's got a million play. He's gone there. He's got over.
Sargent.
Oh,
Sargent.
he has.
He's put it down. Try for Newcastle. The crowd goes mad. They've been waiting now for about 45 to 50 minutes for it. Newcastle leading by 10-6.
Had a big line out to the left, Newcastle. One would have thought they would have come this way, but Sargent, he's big and he's mean, and over he went.
The breeze certainly will not be helping him. Gets the height and the length, but the direction is just off. So Newcastle leading by 10 points to 7. 23,500 people here at Marathon Stadium today. Glenn Miller goes back to the quarterway line. Herman did well to get away from a two-man tackle, runs away from a third. It was left to the fourth to make the tackle. That's Stevie Walters.
Yeah, big run by Herman. That could turn the match, that. Runs like that, inspirational to his teammates.
And he's done that several times this season, Herman, when he's been brought on, not today, but as a replacement in the past. Now they do well. Mullane is brought down by Stewart. Having a massive game is Ricky Stewart today. Away now for Rodwell. Glenn Miller links up and dragged down by David Furner. Rodwell turning it back for Hagan. Godden is with him. This is the last. To the right for Glanville. Cut out ball. Oh, Davis beats his opposite number. Kicks ahead. Race for the ball. No, yes, he gets it down. No, he said no try.
Oh, the in-goal touch rule on that one. They've got one right, the boys. They've got this one right. Did he force this? Oh, hang on. Has he got one right? No try. Never had control of football.
Meninga's come off. Michael Stinks has gone on in jumper 16. Boyle.
Number 16 is Michael Stinks.
Nagas. Canberra, during this match today, really typified why so many of those semi-final contenders have wanted them out of the road. Stewart. Look at these passes. This one has been misdirected over the sideline in front of Hoppy. 6-all the scrums, but 10-7 the score in favour of Newcastle. Hagan. Brunker. Brunker does well. 40 metres out from the line. The entire side is on the left as Schuster goes to the right. 25 out. Across for Glenn Miller. Now they're deep to the left. Rodwell. Butterfield on the charge, a decoy. Hagan tries to bump away. He does from Stewart. Does the same to Rubinstein, who comes again, wraps him up. 11 metres out from the line. Played by Hagan. McCormack goes to the right. Gives the pass. Boyd flicks it out desperately, and it's picked up by McCormack.
And 6 to go, Rebs.
Another good chance here for Newcastle. Rob McCormack playing the ball. Out to Rodwell. Now with Sargent. Sargent gallops away. He's going to get his second. Yes! Sargent! He gets his second touchdown.
Mark Sargent, he's a hero. He's over. That'll wrap the game up for the night. That try will get them to the semi-finals. And the club championship along with Brisbane. But he's really taken this game in the second half. He's taken hold of it and just waltzed away with it. Look at that, he's beaten 46 of them there and strides over. That's a great try. He's a brute of a man.
Pops it over. No worries for John Schuster. 16 points to 7 in favour of Newcastle. Plenty of big names in the game. Retiring as of today. Too many to list. But to all of them, we thank them for what they've given us down through the years. Blokes like Roach, O'Connor, Miller. The list goes on today. And all the best to them in retirement. McCormack plays at 32 away from his own line. Godden. And they've got it parcelled up now, the Knights. 16 to 7. I guess the glory of all of that is that nobody's going to be subjected to a playoff. But you would have had to take short odds about a playoff in 1992, wouldn't you? Now it's been avoided, so it seems. Mullins. Be careful about tying matches up early, Paul. Remember Manly and Illawarra?
Yes, I do, Raps. Goosed myself nicely there, but I think Canberra, this performance by them has been one thing it hasn't lacked, and that's courage. It's been evident through their camp for the last 3 or 4 years. A side who can just do their best against all adversity. And there's been some sensational games out there. Clyde, great player that he is. Rufus Lane, Ricky Stewart. Now a penalty goes to the Canberra side. And they, as you said, they can be very proud of their effort today.
There's Harrigan. He's been iced up immediately and they're stretching him.
Well, that's the big problem for them now, Newcastle. They need him on the field for next Sunday's semi-final, don't they?
The two of the big combatants in that game, Paul, will both obviously take lingering hamstrings into the game. Talking of Harrigan and Bob Linder. He told me yesterday that he would play. So too did Joe Thomas. And now Newcastle's got a problem, obviously, with Harrigan. As Stone gallops for the try line. Yes, Canberra are down, but they won't stay down. They're back now to 16 points to 11.
Canberra, good try to the boys. They're coming back, and you never know. They might even snatch this one out of the fire. We might have gone off too early again, Ray. But Stone, he just threw the dummy. Rodwell will come out. He'd come up out of the line. And Godden. Stone had too much pace for Godden. And Canberra, they aren't going to lay down. Good player, Steve Stone. And away he went, little 12-metre sprint to the line.
Worried look on the face of Mike Hagan. Thurner. No, he's given it too much. Canberra needs a converted try to snuff out the aspirations of Newcastle.
Yeah, that field goal looks pretty handy at this stage, doesn't it? 16-11, a converted try, and they get home. Newcastle now, they're playing for their lives. Surely they must be able to lift.
Croker. 18 away from his own line. Craig Bellamy, who goes out of the game today, is going to be given a taste of it by Tim Sheens. Stone across for Croker. He crosses the halfway on a forward pass. It's going to be brought back. Good fortune smiling on Newcastle there. Rodwell comes open side, gets into space, gets over the 22. Mullins, oh, how many has he pulled off today?
Quick play, the ball needed, but he's injured, Rodwell, getting up slowly.
Away for Hagan, pushed on for Schuster, cut out ball for Herman. Herman tries to draw them, does well, pulled down a metre out. Brunker to dummy half. Schuster first receiver. Across for Butterfield. Spins out of one, but taken to ground by Boyle.
They've got 8 on 1 out wide. They've just got to ping it.
Hagan. Oh, the pass is misdirected. Croker comes through. Godden goes back for Newcastle. Not held. Crosses the 22 line. Rubusane brings him down. But there's more urgency for Newcastle. Rodwell is down and can't continue the game. Away now. It's gone from Boyd to Hagan for Sargent. He's looking for 3. He's going to get it. Sargent, he gets a treble. Oh, look at the smile. Oh, boy, oh, boy.
He's a happy man. He's had a great second half, Mark Sargent. And once again, the big fellas got the Knights out of trouble.
Well, the smiles are there. Mark Sargent, 3 tries.
It was always on out wide there. They always had the numbers. But a nice pass from Hagan. Sargent just ran to the gap. There was no one in front of him. And away he went. But that is a bad sign just there. Rodwell is being helped off the field.
The crowd are counting down. John Schuster. He converts the try. The 3rd for Mark Sargent. The 4th for Newcastle. They win the football match by 22 points to 11. They struggled. Canberra were valiant in defeat with 12 men for the entire game, you may as well say. And 22-11, the Knights, they march on to the semi-finals together with the Illawarras, the St Georges, the Western Suburbs and the Broncos. And we gave the $1,000 Man of the Match award to this man, Mark Sargent. He's a happy man. Why wouldn't he be? 3 tries in this big game at Marathon Stadium today. Let's look at the other matches. 14-all, North Sydney and Balmain. 28-8, Cronulla defeating Manly. Eastern Suburbs 56 defeated South 16. Parramatta and Canterbury 16 points all. Well, the footy tab reads this way. Pick the score upwards of $2,000. Pick the margins. Why wouldn't it be? Hold all tickets while we work it out and pick the winners. $513.50. The points table at the end of the competition ended up that way. The final 5, Brisbane, St George, Illawarra, Newcastle and Western Suburbs. Now, next Saturday night, if you're in Sydney, you'll see the full match replay between 6:30 and 8:30 of the battle between St George and Illawarra. The rest of the network will see the match live. On Sunday, we've got the match between Western Suburbs and Newcastle, again for Sydney and Brisbane, between 5:30 and 7:30, the full replay with the rest of the network live. That takes me away from Marathon Stadium. On behalf of Paul Vaughton and the crew, from here, it's good night, everyone.